This video, I'm going to show you the most reliable way to make £100,000 per year in passive income through property. This is the exact process that we use to grow our property portfolio to £100,000 per year in profit, and it's the exact same strategy that a lot of our clients are using to reach the same target. After being involved in property for over 10 years, we have not seen any other strategy work as well as this, so be sure to pay very close attention to this video. Starting from the left, the first thing you need to do is really pick a strategy. We recommend our clients to specialize in one of two strategies, either buy-to-lets or HMOs. What is a buy-to-let? Well, it's a rental property for one single household. So it can be a couple with a couple of kids, a 2 or 3 bed property, and it's one single household that lives in the property. The benefits of this is that it's a very simple investment strategy and it's great for beginners looking to purchase maybe their first couple of property investments. However, the downside is that these property investments, buy-to-lets, generally make the lowest returns. So 10 to 15% return on investment. That's kind of what you're looking for. The other option is a HMO, also known as house in multiple occupation. The definition of this is that it's a rental property for at least 3 people of different households. So essentially buying the same 2 or 3 bedroom property, but you're renting out the rooms individually to people that don't know each other and are of different households. The benefit of this is that there's a lot of growing demand in the UK for HMO properties, and they also produce the highest returns, so 20 to 30% return on investment. So they're twice as lucrative as a buy-to-let property investment. However, the downside for this is that a little bit more compliance, research and capital is required to execute on a HMO property. So the first thing you need to do really is pick a strategy. Then you go into forced appreciation. So this is where you decide whether or not you want to do a refurbishment or not do a refurbishment and do something ready-made. What does this mean? Well, essentially you'll be conducting a refurbishment to force up the value of the property, to drive up the value of the property. This allows you to do a remortgage later on, where you can pull out funds, pull out capital from the portfolio and use that capital to purchase your next couple of investment properties. So it's very effective for expanding and scaling your portfolio quickly. However, the downside to doing a refurbishment is that it requires a little bit more skill, because you need to know how to work with refurbishment teams, how to find the right refurbishment team, how to have the right contracts in place, but then also it requires a little bit more capital. So at this stage of the process, you need to decide whether or not you want to do a refurbishment. And then you start seeing your first bit of cash flow. You start finding your tenants, which is this part in red. And then if you did do a refurbishment, you have the option of doing a remortgage. And essentially, when it comes to building a 6 or 7 figure property portfolio, you need to go through this entire process as efficiently and effectively as possible. And the quicker you do this, the quicker you can reach your income targets and grow your property portfolio. That's it for today's video. When you look at things in this way, it's actually generally quite simple to build a 6 or 7 figure property portfolio. But of course, each of these stages or phases have different subcomponents that we'll be discussing in our consulting sessions. But hopefully this gives you a little bit of value and a bit of clarity in terms of what the flow and process looks like. Thanks. Bye-bye.